In the heart of Vvardenfell lies a strange and industrious world, one where ancient creatures called Kwama form sprawling underground colonies, their eggs and byproducts forming the backbone of Dunmer society. From the humble Scrib to the Kwama Queen, these creatures have shaped the region's economy, culture, and even its mythology. But beneath their docile exterior, Kwama are far more than simple miners of the earth. In essence, Kwama are large insectoid creatures native to Vvardenfell, primarily kept for their eggs, which are often mined from their underground colonies. How these beasts came to be tamed in the first place remains a mystery, but it is said that the ancestors of the creatures were domesticated by the Kyma, and just as the Kyma relied on the creatures, the Dunmer are now doing the same. Life for the Kwama starts with an egg, a rich, nutritious food with modest magical properties. Careful harvesting ensures a steady supply to sustain the Kwama colonies, as any disruptions can have severe consequences. Each egg is laid deep beneath the earth, atop a mound of fleshy-like tentacles. The exact purpose of the mound remains a mystery, but they may serve as nutrients for the eggs while they develop, or is the remains of the outer layer that's peeled away as the eggs prepare to hatch. The mound is just the beginning of a long line of questions, as Kwama information is incredibly limited, but I will do my best to make sense of everything we see. As always, the eggs that are not mined or consumed produce life. The first kind of Kwama is the Scribs, small, 8-legged insects that are non-aggressive and pose no threat whatsoever, making life for them particularly dangerous, especially with their tendency to venture outside in search of food, fresh air, or whatever reason they have for being up on the surface. Either way, they are a telltale sign of a nearby Kwama mine. The unfortunate Scribs that die on the surface are either eaten by other wildlife or harvested by hunters and poachers, as dead Scribs can produce both Scrib jerky, made from dried slices of Scrib, a common food source that restores strength and endurance, and Scrib jelly, a highly valued ingredient for its ability to cure diseases caused by the blight. An invaluable resource for the Dunmer, given the relentless blight storms emanating from Red Mountain. While both Scrib jerky and jelly are widely consumed, egg miners strongly discourage the killing of Scribs because they have the potential to mature into any other type of Kwama. Still, that doesn't stop some Dunmer killing and roasting them on open fires, and members of the Empire are also known to consume the creatures. Another type of Kwama are Kwama foragers, the scouts of Kwama colonies. Foragers are found across Vvardenfell, with their key roles being to survey the land for suitable hive locations, seeking sources of food, water, and detecting threats to the colony. Their worm-like bodies are perfect for burrowing and navigating tunnels, and their movements produce a distinctive squelching sound, making them easy to find. However, once they are found, and they detect a scent they're unfamiliar with, they'll attack. It doesn't matter how large or strong their target is, they have no fear. On the other hand, they are hilariously weak and easily dealt with, as all they can fight with is their soft, cylindrical body and small round mouth. It does have teeth for digging and a beak further inside for eating, but those are more suited for tunneling than fighting. Concept art reveals the creature was going to have an acidic spit used both to repel enemies as well as soften rock, making it easier for the creature to burrow. But this attack isn't in the game, although they do have something similar, only it's the blighted versions using some kind of toxic breath that they spit or breathe onto the enemy. Not entirely sure. I believe the reason for sending out such a weak type of Kwama is a tactic the Kwama Queen uses to locate only the safest of locations. If a forager has trouble surviving in a certain area, the other Kwama will get distracted defending the Queen instead of working towards a better home. Whether the forager reports back to the Queen or matures into a new one, creating a new hive, is unknown, but still the approach works all the same. I've already mentioned eggs, Scrib jelly and jerky, but Kwama foragers provide something else for the Dunmer: Kwama cuttle, a tough, waxy substance on the forager's beak that expands and hardens when heated, making it ideal for sealing leaks, repairing furniture, and occasionally treating armor. Next are the Kwama workers, the backbone of Kwama egg mines. They serve the Kwama Queen, tending to her eggs, maintaining tunnels, and sustaining the colony. The workers are much larger than the other Kwama mentioned thus far. They are very intimidating, yet are docile by nature, but they will attack if the need arises. There are many tales of poachers mistaking these workers for passive creatures, that is until they try stealing eggs or attacking. Instead of an easy kill, they find themselves being chased down the narrow tunnels, and with the creature's quick speed, it isn't long before the poachers are knocked down and impaled by its sharp beak or trampled to death. While workers are decent fighters, that role is reserved for this next type of Kwama. Kwama warriors are the colony's defenders. They resemble workers, only larger and standing upright, but they also have a distinctive face, an interesting thing that I'll circle back to in just a moment. The warriors guard the tunnels and will attack any intruder on sight. They are the only ones in the mine to be this aggressive, but they leave the miners alone because they are familiar with their scent. Though a threat to the unprepared, they are rarely seen near the entrance of a mine, likely due to the miners guarding the entrance for them, so instead they remain deeper below ground, protecting the chambers where the Queen resides. But without the miners, I have no doubt the warriors would be seen closer to the entrance. Warriors are known for attacking with powerful physical strikes, or sometimes using lightning-based spells, something they can naturally do, similar to the Landreg, which I have talked about in a previous video. And lastly, we have Kwama Queens. They dwell in the deepest chambers of egg mines, in areas referred to as Queen's Lairs. Despite being among the most vulnerable creatures in Vvardenfell, they are rarely without warrior guards, making them difficult to approach. As the sole egg layers of the colony, they are essential to the mine's survival. If one were to contract ash blight or some other similar blight disease, the mine will be sealed off due to the Kwama becoming hostile to even the miners themselves. Worse still, eggs from a blighted colony become inedible. The only solution is to cure the Queen and start over, but even then, it takes time for the mine to recover. As I've said, we don't know how their life cycle works. I could speculate and try to produce an in-game reason, but concept art suggests that they would have had the ability to merge together to create new creatures. And having looked through everything I could find, that is the most likely explanation. Kwama merged together into new forms, taking on new roles to support the hive. One example being foragers jumping into the empty shell of a worker to become a warrior. If we put some of their forms side by side, it's easy to see how the Kwama evolve over time, although this is just for Morrowind. Since Elder Scrolls Online introduced Kwama, their appearance has changed drastically, and their evolution along with them. Workers now look like grown-up scribs, and queens are giant foragers, which is a lot more straightforward and easier to understand, but also takes away from the alien aspect Morrowind has, and I much prefer the parasitic, amalgamated appearance that we get in this game. Now, Kwama aren't just important to the Dunmer in terms of economy, but they also play a role in their mythology, most notably in the tale of the 7 eggs of gold. As the legend goes, a Kwama Queen once laid 7 golden eggs. But these eggs were never found. But in the Third Era, the Fighters Guild were contracted to find these legendary eggs, and they did just that, deep in the long-forgotten Padaya egg mines, and this discovery launched Kwama egg mines to near mythic status. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if most poachers were hoping to stumble upon a fortune of golden eggs rather than just another batch of standard ones. Kwama also appear in Dunmeri children's stories, such as the Mean Old Torchbug, a cautionary tale about trust and trickery. The story follows a brave little Scrib and her mischievous friend, Mean Old Torchbug. Torchbug delights in causing trouble, often leading Scrib into situations that get her punished, though she remains too naive to recognize the Torchbug's true nature. One day, bored of the mine, brave little Scrib ventures outside and encounters Torchbug, who tempts her with the promise of adventure. He leads her to a nearby mage tower, claiming the mage loves playing games with brave little Scribs. As they approach, Scrib notices a pile of empty jars, their insides coated with a sticky sweet residue. Torchbug casually explains that the mage enjoys jelly on toast, strongly implying that Scrib herself would soon be turned into jelly. Realizing the danger, Scrib outsmarts Torchbug and races back to the mine, grateful to have avoided the fate he had planned for her. The story serves as a lesson in caution and recognizing when someone isn't truly a friend, an important story for children to know. But Kwama aren't just the stuff of myths and fables, they're deeply woven into everyday life. A Scrib symbol is commonly used to mark inns and taverns throughout Morrowind, while Scrib cabbage, a domesticated plant found in southern Morrowind, takes its name from the creature. As you can see, Kwama are a crucial part of Morrowind's ecosystem, deeply embedded in the economy, culture, and mythology. Their eggs sustain the people, their flesh nourishes them, and their existence continues to shape their world in ways both seen and unseen. They are irreplaceable creatures, not only for their practical value, but for the delicate balance they maintain in the environment. So the next time you encounter a Scrib roaming the wilds, remember you're standing on the edge of a fragile ecosystem, where the fate of one creature could decide the survival of many.